Again, this is for educational purposes only, so don't trade money you can't afford to lose. I am a full-time futures trader, and I've been doing this for quite a while here. We're going to get into the PowerTrade training format, 20-minute training session on a new topic every week, live trade for 10 minutes. Join me in a 20-minute interactive mastermind. Is the microphone on? If your computer has a working microphone, you may be asked to join the conversation during the mastermind. Your participation is very important and will help accelerate your learning curve. Each mastermind includes wins. Tell us about your best trades of the week so far. Lessons. What did you learn this week that would benefit others? Q&A. What can we help clarify that will help you be a better trader? A little bit about WINvesting. Was established in early 2009. We've helped thousands of traders like you in over 53 countries around the world. Our focus is to help you get real-world profit without risking your hard-earned cash. We do that via our 6-step profitability path so you can learn virtually in a risk-free, stress-free environment. For more information on that, you can go to www.winvesting.com. About your host, Ted Posobiec. That's me, Chief Trading Strategist at WINvesting.com, professional day trader, primarily futures, and I am also the host of the daily E-mini Insider Trading Room at WINvesting. Quick housekeeping notes here. Replays. We are recording this and we will post the replays as soon as possible. Participate. Your active participation will help you reinforce what you've learned. So I encourage you to ask questions, come in with your mic. Do have the capability of turning that on. Suggest, send in a topic for future power trades to support at winvesting.com. If you have a subject you'd like to go over, we'll take a look at it and see what we can do. If we use your suggestion for a future power trade topic, you'll get a free month of our bronze membership, normally $29 with no auto renewal and no strings attached. See details at www.winvesting.com. Congratulations. A big thank you to Bob R., who suggested this week's topic. Bob, you won a free month of our bronze membership. We'll email you soon with the details. Before we get started, if you're risking your own money in the market, stop. Learn how to trade other people's money. OPM is what we'll call it here, is what we normally call it. Trade other people's money with a prop firm. We recommend Top Step Trader. You can get funded for up to $150,000 in your trading account. We've done it, and our students have done it also. You keep 80% of the profits with zero risk. You can go to www.winvesting.com/OPM for more information. Part 1, the training, scaling smart, the right way to add more contracts to your trades. This is what I do. Other people may have other different things, but this is what I do. The overview, the upside and downside of trading one contract, the upside and downside of trading multiple contracts. Why money management matters. How many contracts can I trade? When to add more contracts. How to get to the point of trading 10 plus contracts. First, some background. My average trades usually has 2 to 3 contracts. In the mornings, I like trading 2, 1 to 2 contracts in the morning. That's what you're going to normally see me do. Depending on the market, conditions, I may add more contracts after 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. Until the market turns around, it gives me a little better trades between 8:30 or 8:20 and 10:30 or 10. I'm going to stay with the 1 to 2 contracts. I'll trade 4 to 6 contracts at a time. That would be after 10:15. On a rare occasions, I'll trade up to 16 contracts at one time. The upside and downside of trading one contract. The upside, the losses are easier to handle. I think everybody can agree on that. You'll learn patience and discipline. That's what did this for me, trading one contract at 5 ticks or making $50 a day. Regardless of how I did that. If I had to take 2 trades to get $50 or 3 trades to get it, that's what I did, just traded one contract. The downside, when I am trading one contract, I do tend to overtrade. It takes longer to hit my goal. I'm just saying $50 at the time when I first started learning how to trade. Depending on where you're at, it does take a little while longer to hit your goal. And I noticed that when I'm trading 1 to 2 contracts, I tend to take trades that don't really fit into my trade plan, and you might find the same thing here. So in order to keep your trading plan intact, try to force yourself not to take trades that do not fit into that trading plan. I know it's easier to do with 1 or 2 contracts because the losses are easier to handle, but it doesn't really teach you anything in the long run. So learn to be patient, wait for those setups. That will help you discipline yourself to take only the right trades that you need to take for that are within your trade plan or even your skill level. The upside and downside of trading multiple contracts. The upside, wins you get, the wins get you to your daily goal a lot faster. I think everybody can agree with that. You only tend to take trades that are in your trading plan. That's another upside. Here's the downside. Losses are greater. You can deplete your account much faster that way. The risk scares many traders into making bad decisions. Maybe tightening up their stop too tight. Or what I find is when I'm trading more, I start to see it go again, or trading more contracts, it starts to get me into a where I'm scared. Not so much anymore because I don't trade what my account can't handle, and I know what I'm willing to risk. So when I am trading more, what happened at the beginning is the first time I went to 14 contracts, first time I went to 16 contracts, seeing it going in my direction was great. But when it started going against me, it really scared the bejesus out of me. So it is a higher risk, and it all looks good when it's green, but when it goes red, it's not a good feeling. So that's because a lot of times because your account can't handle that, and you know it. Why money management matters. My trading plan includes clearly defined daily, weekly, monthly, and annual profit goals. My decision to add more contracts are directly related to what my account balance is in relationship to those profit goals. If I'm ahead of my goals, I'm more inclined to add contracts because I can afford to be a little more aggressive. I don't know if that's a Webster news word. Sorry about that. If I'm behind on my goals, I'm more risk adverse and tend to resist adding more contracts. Money management and a personal example. I have a daily profit target of $400. If I make exactly $400 for the day, my rule says I have to stop trading for the day and lock in my profits. At this point, it's my money and the market, and not the market's money. So I'm not going to risk anymore. I'm not going to take a trade to get back below 400. Even though I might have the potential to making a lot more. But if I hit my daily target at 400, I have to stop. And a lot of people will ask, well, why did I pick 400? Because for me, 400 on the nose, right on it, is a lot harder to hit than 500. If I hit 500, then I would stop. I can hit 500 easier. Well, it's not easy. Nothing's really easy. But at the time when I was making this up, I hit 400. It was harder. I like to have the option of where I can trade at 350 and potentially go over 400. Yeah, we're going to get into this. This year's in my trading plan. If I go over 400 now, then my highest priority is to keep that $400. So I adjust my stops and the number of contracts. So losing the trade can't take me below 400. Now, does it sometimes? Yes. If I get slippage or something, it can drop below 400. If it drops back below 400 for any reason, I'm done trading for the day also, because I've hit it dropped below, even if it's $10, say I end up with $3.90, I'm done for the day. So again, if I go over 400, my highest priority is to keep the 400 that I've already made. So I adjust my stops and the number of contracts. So losing the trade can't take me below. It shouldn't. It normally don't, but there is that occasion that it will drop below 400. I think some of you that have been in my room have seen that. And well, that's how I do that. How many contracts can I trade? For example, let's say I'm up 350 so far for the day. Now my next trade, I make another $100. So now I'm up 450 for the day. Before I take another trade, I have to adjust my stop to 5 ticks in a market that is a 10 tick, $10 per tick. So I make sure I only trade one contract, so that if the trade is a loser, the most I can lose is 50 bucks. And I say most of the time, there is sometimes you hit where maybe a news comes out and it could drop down a little bit lower than that. But I try to stay right at that 400 for the day. Does that make sense? It depends. What is the margin for one contract? That depends on the market, who your broker is. Anywhere from I want to say as low as 800 up to 2,000. Let's pretend that instead of losing 50, I win that on that next particular trade, and I make another 100 bucks. So now I'm up 550. Now I can adjust my stop to 7 ticks in the market that has 10 ticks also. And I can trade 2 contracts on my next trade. That's how I start adding back in. If I lose a full 7 ticks times 2, that's 140. I'm back to my 410 in profit for the day, so I quit and lock in my profits. If I win, I can keep trading as long as I protect my 400. When to add more contracts? I don't normally trade more than 2 contracts at the beginning of the year, because I start each year as if I'm starting from 0. in relationship to my annual profit goals. So at the beginning of the year, I'm going to use 1 or 2 contracts, and that will be, it just depends on how far ahead I can get. What I'll do is I'll check profit and loss. Am I up or am I down? That's letting me know whether I can trade 2 contracts or more than going over 2 contracts. I look at what I've made for the day, the week, the past 2 weeks, past month, and from the start of the year. Am I ahead? Am I a week ahead? Am I a month ahead? And so on. I need to know that the further ahead I am in the year, the better where I can actually add more contracts in. I decide whether to add more contracts based on whether my account is at a certain point in relationship to my daily and weekly and annual profit goals. If I'm up 400 for the day, I can add, if I'm above 400 for the day, can I add more contracts? Yes. If I'm above 400, I can add more contracts. I'm going above 2 now, because that's what I normally trade, 1 to 2. So can I add a 3rd contract if I'm above 400 for the day? Yes, I can, as long as a losing trade will not take my account below 400 for the day, for the week, for the month. Before adding that other contract, I'm usually a day to 2 days ahead of schedule. What if I'm down for today? Can I trade more than 2 contracts? Can somebody answer that? Give me what you think. If I'm down for the day, can I add more than 2 contracts? What if I'm up for the year by a month? Can I trade more than 2 contracts? You haven't seen my rules, so I get it. Everybody is saying no. Are you kidding? Yes, I can, but only if I am ahead of my profit goals for the week, or I am ahead of my profit goals for the month, or am I ahead of my goals for the year? That is the most important one. I really want to be ahead of the year, for the year. And I'm going to go over this with you on how I have my sheets set up. When should you add more contracts? First, look at your mental state and your trading plan. If I'm down for the day, and I just did this a few weeks ago, added more contracts, and Dan called me when he had found out, he was in the room, seen that I was down, and I went in and I went in with a trade with 6 contracts, and I explained to him, and I know it's kind of confusing, but I don't just go in if I'm down and say, okay, I'm going in with 6, hopefully I can get it back. I do an evaluation of where I'm at, how much ahead am I, where my account is, what my mental state is. Am I going to do revenge trading? What kind of trade is coming up? The type of trade, everything. I analyze everything. I have some guys that I'll talk to when I'm doing this, telling them my thoughts. I'll tell them how many contracts I'm planning to go in. This is what I can actually afford to lose. And I make sure that everything is planned out before I go in. So I can if I'm down for the day. But I really want to be up for the week, up for the month, and most important, I want to be up for the year. Again, first take a look at your mental state and your trading plan. If I'm down for the year, my rules state that I cannot trade more than 4 contracts at any one time. This is how I protect me from myself. So if I was down for the day and I'm down for the year, I'm negative, I cannot trade more than 4 contracts. And normally I wouldn't even do that. It's going to be 2. But I can. Written into my rules, I can do that. In order to even trade 4 contracts, I have to be willing to lose at least $800. So if I'm down for the year, I'm not willing to lose that $800. If I'm up for the year by $2,000, okay, I can take that. But it just depends on where I'm at, and a big thing here is the mental state. Am I going in? Do I think that it's going to be a revenge trade? Like some people will play pool and they don't know what pocket they're going to go for, so they shoot and hope. And I do get caught up in that. I think everybody does. It's knowing that you've actually done that and you can feel yourself that might be happening. So I'll tend to pull away, just walk away from the computer. Let's take a look at a spreadsheet. And daily record. Here we have, I have two, this was pulled out of, I don't remember what month or whatever it was, but Monday I didn't trade, Tuesday I'm up 200. But you see over on this sheet here, how is this 400? Well, what I do is I'll keep track of this here, down, excuse me, I'm down 150, make 600 here. So what I do is I'll take the 600, take away the 400, so I can actually put it over here. It gives me the remainder. So I'm up 600 here, up 200 here. So I'm down on this particular day. I haven't hit my $2,000 a week goal. So I'm down here. Every time I go over $400, it gets added up here and keeps going to the next one. 325, 460, 580, 400, 625. You can probably tell that these are news days on Wednesdays and Fridays and possibly even Thursdays. But it keeps going over. Does everybody see this? We got a couple of minutes here. Thanks, Fred. We'll get back to this. Right now on this particular, as this was being done up, I'm already ahead by 3 days going into the next month. See that? I'm up 3 days. We'll get back to that. I'm up a little bit today. What do we have? Yeah, John, I really like it. We had news today, oil report today, which was good for me. Coming down, we've got possible areas for reversals here. Let's go in here. 4 tick stop. I want one contract, and let's go for 7 ticks. With the news, we're almost in the middle. Not really sure what way it wants to go. A lot of times I can have a pretty good idea, but right now we do have news coming up. Full MC. I'm bracketing just this candle here because of the news. Ten seconds, 9. That was a quick jump right there. ZB's doing some moving. Seven tick target is what I have. 7 tick target. I'll be happy with 3. And I tightened it up a tick. I want to keep as much as I can. I'm out. So I'm up today with 1,024.60. The trade is still valid with the long set here for just a regular breakout. The news had no effect on CL. I am going to pull this out. Anybody take the trade? We have resistance right here from that last swing, and there is resistance here. And we all, or support rather, we also have support right here now. This could take a while for it to decide what way it really wants to go. I want to bring this chart back down here. Does everybody kind of get what I'm going here? Normally I don't have the chart like this. With this, I'm looking at, I want to see all 400s here, and if I go over 400, see it right on Wednesday, I'm up 165. So trading on Monday, I can take whatever I win or lose. If I lose, let's say I went down 300. Caught something out of the side of my eye here. If I'm down 300, I'll take this 165 that I was up, subtract that, and that would really put me down 135 for the day. Does that, everybody kind of agree with that? So this here would be changed. This yellow mark here is, this here is telling me, I want to open this up. This here is telling me that I'm at my point where I'm where I should be at. Once I get into this area here where it's green, it means I'm ahead. Even I hadn't even traded on the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this week. But if I did lose that day there, this here goes to 135. Then let's say Tuesday, I'm down 400. I would just remove that. So I'm still up. Actually, I'm down for. I haven't hit my goal, but with today's trades, 1,024. I'm not going to add the change in there. Up 1,024. What do I do? I'm going to take this and make this 400. Can I put another 400 in here? Can I put a 400 here? And I should be up 359 for Friday. So that this one day here, even with the losses, pushed me up ahead for Friday. I hope everybody can see what I'm doing here. What I like to see is I like to see all of these at 400. I do care what I've made for the day. I do look at that, and I can tell that my best days have been Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. That would be for the last 3 months now. 2 months, 2 months. And it just happens to be news days. Yep, I'm just bringing it over. I want to see all of these 400, and I like to see, you know, this. Let's see if I can fill it. I like to be up a month ahead to 2 months ahead. That's when I know I can start adding more contracts. I hope that helps some people out. I hope it can help everybody out. Wow, that jumped up there. Nice volume spike. Mornings, my better trades have been after 10:15 lately. And it is a balancing act. You have to find out what works best for you. I always wondered what I would do, you know, when I hit 400, hit 400, hit 500, then I'm down $100 for the next day. And I said, well, if I'm up 500, I can take that extra $100, push that to the next day. So I only need to make 300 that next day. Let's go into a make 300, 200. So Monday is would be, I'd go backwards. Monday would be 4, and Tuesday would be 100. So until I can get ahead, this just keeps going up. So if I made 500, let's go with 6. This would be 400. And would be 400 here. So I'm good for the week, so on, and it keeps going. If I hit Thursday with being a news day, 500, let's go 500 here. I put 400 here, and I only need to make $100 on Friday. Looking at this sheet here on the left lets me know where I have to be. Do I need to go up, come down? So hitting 300 on Friday would be fine. And we're coming back down. My favorite setups for trading multiple contracts is volume spikes. Ron's members have access to the volume spike course. Let's see if I can get rid of this black thing here. And my 610 trade setup. Silver memberships have access to this course. And I'll use those throughout the day. They're coming in fairly well after 10 o'clock. A little better than the regular market opens. We do have summer that we're fighting with right now, and I expect that to turn around here shortly. Let me escape from here. I want to put this over so I can actually see it. Get that there. Pick the best setups that you know when you start adding the contracts, and make sure that you don't go in and just putting trades in to get a trade. Again, volume spikes are my favorite setups, and my 610. And usually after 10 o'clock, I can sit back, so I'm relaxed. I decide whether I can take more contracts, if I can afford to take more, risk a little more, and I'll go ahead and do it. Today I did not. The only thing I did was 2 contracts. We'll go through here in a minute. Crossovers and pullbacks, setups. You can find that kind of stuff there with crossover pullback trades using the EMAs. Or SMAs, it doesn't really matter. If I make 2,004 days, would I take Friday off? There are occasions when I do that. Usually if I'm in a room, I'm running a room during the week, I don't take the Friday off because of that. I like to be ahead so I can take vacation longer. I try not to trade all day. 2 to 3 hours a day is the most I want to do. And a lot of times with being in the room with the summer here, I have been sitting at the computer a little longer. Not that much longer though, about maybe an hour over. I don't normally trade afternoon. I do, if I'm in the office here at 2 o'clock, I do like to take that 2 o'clock trade. We've already done the 2 o'clock trade there. And it's going up a little bit from where it was at. I like to see it hit 72 and then take it back down. Part 3, the mastermind, wins, lessons, and Q&A. What was your best trade so far this past week? If you have a microphone, let me know. I'll unmute you. Otherwise, type it in to the chat box. Let me know what your best. Yeah, because the summers are a little slower and I'm getting, everything seems to be smoothing out or getting better where I can see a better direction after 10. A lot of times when I shut down the room, 5 minutes I can be in a trade, long, short, taking it off the 610, or I get a volume spike. It's not every day, but it does happen quite often. And usually by the time I'm ready to take a break, just go do something, step away from the computer, and I come back and I see everything in a whole different picture. Summers are normally slower in the beginning. There's a lot of people out coming in late to work, whatever, on vacation. I'd like to have something better than this. There's a lot of trades here. You can see 2 contracts here. This was my best trade for the day. I did make 400 on the push up, but I took volume spike trades as volume kept growing. I took one and went, and my ATM was a 7 and 11 tick target. And what I was doing was I was hoping for positive slippage. I did get it. I did take a 7 and 11 tick as price came back down. It pushed back up, and I got into it again, and I lost that, but I only lost 80 bucks on it. And then I seen this coming here. We had volume come in, and I took it short. Coming up off the highs, looking at it for coming down, and it looked like it was going back up, so I brought my first target in real tight and let the other one hit 11 ticks right here. So this was a good trade. There's a lot of trades in here. There was volume spikes in it, and they were all shorts. I did take the one long and shorted the rest. Got in off here on this one and targets down here. So that was a lot of volume. That was my best trade. Let me know what yours is. Anybody have something good? Base hits is all I'm looking for. Anybody take the oil trade today? Let me know how you did on it. It's a decent long there. What did you learn this week that would benefit other traders? If you have a microphone, let me know, and I'll unmute you. Otherwise, type it into the chat box. I learned that I need to keep track of what my profit and loss is for the day, and I keep writing that down. I had exceeded my daily loss quite a bit yesterday, and again, as sitting down and taking a look at everything, I was still okay for the year, month, and I was able to bring a $700 loss down to quite a bit less. Was able to get back 500 of that. So I need to be a little slower on the trigger at 9:30. Wait for the market to settle out, trading NQ. So once I seen that again, and it was a pattern that was repeating itself, I went into trading NQ the first 30 minutes in simulation. Anybody else have something that they learned? Nobody learned it. Learn one new thing a day. By the end of the month, you'll learn 30 new things. Mastermind Q&A. What can we help you clarify that will help you be a better futures trader? If you have a microphone, again, let me know. I'll unmute you. Otherwise, type it in the box. Is there something that I can do? Something that I can help you out with? Let me know. You have an account with IB. I assume that is International Brokers. I don't see why you can't trade ES. Alan, yes, I do have some of the levels up on that. I haven't looked at it on the S&P though. Not lately. I have it up on CL, NQ, and gold. With that, I don't see why you can't. That would be something you would have to ask them. It's like anything else, Alan. Some days are good, some days it just blows right on through. With the markets heading up as high as they are and as hard as they are, I do use a little caution. I do tighten up the stops fairly quickly. Give me another week and I'll have more information on that. I'm doing some checking on that. I've been asked to attend seminars on the Russell. I will trade the Russell when the volume starts coming back in. John, who are you taking? Who's asking you on this? I just want to see. There's some guys that trade it. I know one guy that's all he trades. and he's on vacation now because the volume is so low on it. Yes, Keith, if you want to use the London swing trades on a minute chart, by all means, it's the same thing. Last week we did a PowerTrade on the Russell. You can take a look at the recording there. I keep track of that on a daily and a weekly basis. And until the volume comes up, I'm not going to mess with it. It's, you know, if they have something different, then, you know, it doesn't hurt to see what others are doing. Keith, like I say, maybe use a 3 to 5 minute, maybe even a 10-minute chart on that. If you do that, let me know what your results are. I'd like to know. A lot of times when I'm looking, say we got this chart here, this 1 minute chart. This dashed line, dotted line, let's say that was right there at this point here. If I see this over here and I see that it is a swing, this would be at 10:30 at the after the news. Let's say it was the open. I'm looking at that dotted line and I see that is the open. Did price go above it, close above it? Did it come back down below it? Yep. I'm looking for that long. I'm looking for that there, even though I'm using a 1 minute chart. If I have the support resistance lines on the chart, I'll take the trade like this dash line right here. No reason why not to take this short right here. That this line is a low from overnight. So I could have taken that short right there. That low overnight is going to be the same as the 610 overnight. Yesterday's overnight low, or the overnight low from midnight to 9 o'clock or 9:30, and 3 o'clock to 9:30 are going to be the same. I do have one guy that trades like that. He likes using a 3 and a 5 minute chart, using that setup also, so he can watch the volume at the same time. So it's all on one chart. It makes sense. Quote for the week. There is no talent here. It's hard work. This is an obsession. Talent does not exist. We are all equal as human beings. You could be anyone if you put in the time. You'll reach the top, and that's that. I'm not talented. I'm obsessed. Connor McGear. I like 3 and 5s. No, he doesn't split the screens. He just has double charts on the screen. He'd have 2 charts like this. 3 and a 5. Don't know. Do you agree? Type yes or no. I don't know who Connor is. Yes. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Next step, where to go from here. Review your notes and take action on at least one thing you've learned. Again, learn one new thing a day, take action on it. You'll know 30 new things by the end of the month. I just hope I don't forget 30 things. Visit us at www.winvesting.com and check out the profitability path. Send in your feedback and suggestions for future episodes to support@winvesting.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thank everybody for joining me, sticking around, and hope you got something out of it. Look, if you're going to trade more, than 10 contracts, make sure that your account can handle it, and just make sure that you're willing to take that loss.